Hello everyone! Our mission on the Broken Isles is to get our hands on the Pillars of Creation to seal the rift at the Tomb of Sargeras. Within Stormheim, the Halls of Valor and the Aegis of Aggramar awaits, and that's the story we're going to talk about today, so let's begin, shall we? After the Alliance and Horde fight with each other and crash into Stormheim, Munin finds the heroes with a message from a strange old Vrykul named Havi, who's actually Odin, who knows what we seek.
Strength alone will not win what you seek, but it will get you started. Find me near Aggramar's vault, and I will put your strength to the test. The vault before you holds not gold, but wisdom. Jotnar is its lock, and glory is its key. Forge a key in the blood of champions, and perhaps the lock will turn. Inside, you will find paths and more.
Havi informs us that the Watcher Jotnar is the keeper of the vault, and in order to catch his eye, we'll have to defeat a few of the challengers within the area, and to make an even better impression, we also bring in some challengers' tributes. It seems like we're not the only ones trying to seek the Aegis, since when we arrive at the vault, Jotnar is not doing so well.
Your ancient rites and rituals mean nothing to me, Jotnar. I will conquer your trials and take the Aegis for my own. Cower here in your cave while it still stands. The gods will not tolerate your actions, Vrykul. You will answer for your heresy.
God's King Skovald doesn't care about the ancient rites, and he will do everything in his power to claim the Aegis to please his newfound allies Gul'dan and the Burning Legion. In exchange for him finding the Aegis, they will grant him incredible power and thousands of worlds to conquer. That means that the race is on, and in order to prove our worth, 3 trials must be completed. The Trial of Might, Will and Valor. On the plateau up above, 2 archives are set informing us what to do for our trials.
At the end of their life, a Vrykul's worth is determined by the great rulers of their people. If you wish to claim the Aegis, seek these ancient rulers and prove to them your merit. Only those deemed worthy shall pass the trial of valor. The Thorinir are the oldest and wisest dragons in Stormheim. To fly with them is to sail amongst the gods themselves. Seek their blessing to pass the trial of will.
The Trial of Might is given by Jotnar himself, so after collecting his body parts, we get to challenge him.
I hope you are ready to face your first trial, outsider. As the keeper of this vault, it is my duty to test the might of those who wish to proceed. That is enough, outsider. Unbelievable. Decades of waiting without a worthy challenger, only to be beaten twice in the same day. You have passed the trial of might, outsider. Seek me at the vault's entrance and I will grant you the blessing of the Watchers. You have shown true valor today. And for this, I shall grant you a boon. Hold aloft your weapon, outsider, and receive a gift from the Titans. It is done. May our power aid you when you need it most. Go forth, champion of the vault.
With that, our first trial is successfully completed, and the next one awaits at Thorin's Peak. To climb the mountain, we'll first have to go through the Vrykul village of Hirjal, where we team up with either Lorna Crowley or Dread Rider Cullen.
Hey, it's you! I'm getting stir-crazy here. Please tell me we're going in.
With our beautiful grapple launcher, we climb over the walls and we infiltrate the village. There we collect some climbing gear, an oiled cloak to keep the rain out, and an enchanted lodestone to keep the lightning at bay. There are also a couple of harpoon launchers that will prove to be very deadly if we go climb the mountain right now, so we take them out before we move on.
You are too late, weakling! Even
I
now,
feel like that
we
guy having a
break the
dragon
dragons
is a
to
bad
serve
thing.
us! Only I possess the power of the Thorinir! The Aegis will be mine! Give up, outsider! You are not worthy of the halls of Valor!
Again, Skovald stands in our way as he blows up the bridge, but not to worry, our trusted grapple launcher can get us where we need to go, and near the top of the mountain, we encounter Vatir, who tells us that we might be too late if we're here for our trial. The Felscorn, allied with Skovald, they've taken its toll on their Fornir, but perhaps we can help them out. We're set on a task of killing a few of the corrupted Vrykul, we liberate a couple of the storm dragons, and we rescue their mother, who's been taken captive by a powerful demon. A fair few of you have asked me about the history of the Fornir, or the storm dragons as they're called, and not much is known. We can tell from Nifok's dungeon journal that the Fornir have sworn fealty to the Titan Keepers, and that Nifok didn't feel like being their subject, since he believed that one day he'd be more powerful than the Keepers themselves, so he moved away to take up roost in the mountain of Nastromdir. The other major dragonflights, the blue, the red, green, bronze and black, they were originally proto-dragons until they were empowered with the blessing of the Titans by the Titan Keepers. It's possible that this flight has the same origin, considering that we encounter them at Thorim's Peak, named after a Titan Keeper, but it's uncertain. It's also uncertain if after the defeat of Deathwing at the end of the Cataclysm, they too lost their ability to reproduce or lost a major portion of their power. We have seen storm dragons before, mainly in Skywall, but they look nothing like this variation, and it doesn't seem like the same species, but like I said, there's still a fair bit unknown about these storm dragons. Either way, we do what Vatir asks of us, and for our deeds, we pass the trial of will.
The storm will not of this land. You chose to save us from a wretched fate. You have passed the trial of will, and you have also gained an ally. Hold aloft your weapon, outsider. Accept the power of storm and thunder as a gift for your selfless acts.
As a parting gift, we join Vatir as he brings down sweet justice upon the Vrykul, who have forsaken their oaths, and with that, only one more trial awaits.
2 trials faced, and 1 remains. You must seek the judgment of the ancient kings. But they are dead, and you are not. There is one who can bridge the gap, if you indulge him.
Avi sends us out to meet up with Vidar, an ancient tree who can tell us how to awaken the ancient kings and ask for their judgments. Now, I haven't been able to find the story behind Vidar, except for a small part in which he himself mentions that it was because of the aid of the Tauren that his flesh was made wood, his skin made into leaves, and his wisdom made eternal. The details as to the why or the how that happened, that I couldn't find, but regardless, Vidar has the knowledge that we seek, but the Vrykul in the area, they've allied themselves with Skovald, and they seek to silence the Runewood. Runestones are the key to release Vidar's bonds, so we set him free, while also taking care of some of the rune speakers. After doing so, Vidar informs us that we need to perform a ritual of awakening, with an aromatic to burn and an offering to present. The soul caps, growing in the woods, they will make for a fine incense, while the engorged bear hearts, they will make for a perfect offering. After collecting the materials, we seek out the graves of the ancient kings, we awaken them, and then we kick the crap out of them to prove our worth. The final ruler, however, a Shieldir, Queen of the Valkyria, her grave has been disturbed, and the Bone Speakers of Housevald, they've stolen her bones to prevent us from completing the trial. It's up to us to make this right, so we need to collect our bones, we punish the Bone Speakers who committed this unforgivable heresy, and we destroy the ritual stones used to weaken her spirits.
You again? Do you really think to beat me, with the Legion at my side? Give up, fool! The Bone Speakers will never let an outsider be judged worthy!
Skovald has many allies, but nothing will stand in our way of obtaining the Aegis, and at a special altar, we're able to communicate with a Shieldir who knows that we seek her judgment, but her spirit is still fragmented. As we speak, Runeseer Valjar is calling upon dark, forbidden magics in an attempt to banish her spirit into Helheim. If he succeeds, our trial will be lost, so we must do everything in our power to stop him.
You have defiled the old vase mystic. The God King is not worthy of the halls of Valor.
I spit on your ancient. You think to stop me? I am the master of the
Champion,
vengeful dead!
destroy this usurper, and I will grant you my judgment.
Enough of this!
No! This power! It's too strong!
I would see you banished before I allow you to grant judgment to an outsider.
No! You can't!
I can. You have sealed your fate, Shield Maiden. You and this outsider. Enjoy your eternity of damnation. Helheim awaits!
Helheim is a domain ruled by Helia, and I think this is a good time to shortly talk about the history between Odin and Helia. Odin is a Titan Keeper, created by the Titans way back when, empowered by Aman'Thul to battle with the old gods and bring order to the planets. Helia was a gifted Titan Forge sorceress who worked together with Kipara to create the elemental plane. When the war with the Black Empire was won, and the Titans left the planet behind to do its thing, eventually Titan Keeper Tyr, he figured that they needed more help with protecting the world, and he wanted to empower proto-dragons into the dragon aspects. All the Keepers were on board with this plan, all of them except for Odin, who thought that this was a very bad idea. He saw the proto-dragons as nothing but primitive life forms, and only the mighty Titan Forge could be trusted with protecting the world. The other Keepers, they didn't listen to him. They went ahead with giving the blessing of the Titans to the aspects, pissing off Odin. He in turn went ahead with forging his own plans, and since he believed that the aspects would fail, he would create an army of his own. He was not against the other Keepers. He welcomed them to join him, but the Keepers saw this as a foolish plan, and they demanded Odin to stop. His mind was made up though, and with the help of Helia, who Odin over the ages, he began to see her as his adopted daughter, they lifted part of Ulduar into the sky, and they called it the Halls of Valor. From his new domain, Odin proclaimed to the Vrykul down below that any who would prove themselves worthy by dying in glorious battle, they would live again in the Halls of Valor. Their spirits would be taken to the fortress, given mighty Stormforged bodies to become Valajar, Azeroth's foremost guardians. By studying the energies from a realm called the Shadowlands, Odin somehow figured out how to transport the spirits back to his halls, but none of the Vrykul were really eager to step up and live as a Valkyr. To do so would mean that you become a cursed phantom being, guiding the souls between the Shadowlands and the physical world, and since none volunteered, Odin decided that he would enforce the job upon some poor soul, which Helia did not agree with. They ended up in a heated argument, in which the two of them nearly came to blows, but in the end, Helia warned Odin that she would return the Halls of Valor to Ulduar if he did not change his mind. With that, Odin had found his victim. He saw Helia as a threat, not only to his plans, but to the very safety of Azeroth, so he struck out. He shattered her physical form and twisted her spirit into the first of the Valkyr. Helia screamed, a tormented cry, which could be heard all the way to the Shadowlands, but this violent transformation was just the beginning. She loathed Odin for what he had done to her, but she also found herself unable to disobey. As he commanded, Helia went out to transform more unwilling Vrykul into the cursed Valkyr, and for ages, she and those unfortunate enough to join her, they were the ones who brought the souls of heroic Vrykul to the Halls of Valor, where then Odin, he then trained and empowered each of them. He had no remorse for breaking from the Keepers, or even for transforming Helia into the first of the Valkyr. In his mind, everything he had done was for the safety of Azeroth and in honor of the great Pantheon. However, Odin would soon regret the choices he has made, as Loken, another Titan Keeper, he fell to the Yogg-Saron's corruption, and he began to see the other Keepers as a threat, as his enemy. He approached Helia with a deal. He would set her free from Odin's control, and in exchange, she would use her powers to lock Odin and all those who followed him away within the Halls of Valor. Still enraged about what Odin had done to her, Helia gladly accepted the deal, as she used her magic in a similar way as she'd done when she'd helped create the elemental plane. Odin and his mighty Valajar, they struggled desperately to escape the floating citadel, but not even their might was enough to break the barrier, and for years they would be imprisoned within the Halls of Valor. Helia herself was now free from her life of servitude, and she decided to forge a new home for herself and the other Valkyr. Far below the Halls of Valor, she created the domain called Helheim, bound to Azeroth's Great Seas, which would act as a final destination for many of the Vrykul spirits after death. Yet the darkness that had made their home in Helia's heart, it transformed her created realm into a place of nightmare and shadow. The souls of the dead Vrykul who arrived at Helheim, they found themselves turned into vengeful beings called Kvaldir. Now not all of the Valkyr stayed with Helia after Odin's defeat. Some of them disappeared into the Shadowlands, while a few of them, who still had a glimmer of nobility in their souls, they dedicated themselves to watching over the physical world. From within the Shadowlands, these Valkyr would at times guide the dead back to the land of the living. So that's a little bit of history behind these two characters, and now we find ourselves trapped within the cursed realm of Helheim. Basically, it's a form of afterlife afterlife for the Vrykul, where the dishonorable ones, they're cursed to go to Helheim, and those that die in a mighty battle, they get taken up into the halls of Valor. Being here, amongst the spirits of the dishonorable, is not a great place to be, so we set out to meet up with Helia in an attempt to convince her to let us go back to the living world.
Unworthy! You will kneel before addressing the great Helia!
Thankfully, she's in a good mood and she makes us a deal. We get to entertain her as she challenges us to fight with her pet, and if we win, we get to go.
Have fun with my pet, outsider! I will enjoy watching him break you!
Your spirit feels weaker. What has she done?
A shieldier notices that our spirit feels weaker, and she tells us to collect a Helheim Waylight, said to have the power of releasing the bonds of the spirits, which we do, and we use it not only to collect the fragments of our spirits, we also liberate several of a shieldier's Valkyra. Together, we fight with Geir, we bring Helia's mighty champion down, earning us our freedom and escape from Helheim, as well as proving our worth and passing our final trial.
It is done, Helia! We have fulfilled your bargain, and we will collect our payment.
Such insolence! None will leave Helheim while I rule! What? This cannot be!
Her hold is weakening. She cannot keep us here.
No one leaves Helheim! No one!
Your terms were met, Helia. It seems even you must honor your word.
No!
See you again soon. The trials are won, but your foe remains.
With that, our destiny awaits, the halls of Valor itself, home to the Aegis of Aggramar. But God King Skovald and the Legion, they're still trying to stop us. They've even captured Vatir, which simply won't do, so we ride out to save him, and we collect our forces for an all-out assault against the Legion, gathered at the gates of Valor. With the power of the Storm Dragons, the power of Stormheim itself, we destroy the Legion forces, we bring down their gateways, and we even kick the crap out of God King Skovald.
Don't think you stand a chance simply because you have come this far. You are nothing. Nothing! Thousands of worlds will be mine to conquer! Enough! I grow tired of this. The Aegis will be mine, you fools! And there's nothing you can do to stop me!
We'll see about that. Trial after trial we have passed, and with it earned our way into the halls of Valor.
A great battle. A greater champion. Yes, you are worthy.
Enter the halls of Valor, champion! The greatest of glory awaits!
But we're not done proving ourselves worthy of the Aegis quite yet. We've only proven ourselves worthy of gaining entrance. Odin quite likes his challenges and trials, so we're pitched against Heimdall, Guardian of the High Gate.
A battle well fought. The path forward is open.
Hirsha, in life, warrior without equal, now granted the honor of becoming a Valkyr by the Titan Watcher Eir.
I am sorry, Eir. I have failed you.
Fenrir, a fearsome warg stalking the eternal hunting grounds.
You have earned my blessing, champions. I look forward to meeting you within the Hall of Glory.
And finally, after bringing down the greatest of the Vrykul kings, Odin rewards us with the Aegis, but God King Skovald shows up to contest our claim.
To the victor go the spoils. The Aegis of Aggramar is yours for the taking. No, I too have proved my worth, Odin. I am God King Skovald. These mortals dare not challenge my claim to the Aegis. The Vanquishers have already taken possession of it, Skovald, as was their right. Your protest comes too late. If these false champions will not yield the Aegis by choice, then they will surrender it in death! Give up the Aegis or die!
With the use of the Aegis itself, we're able to defeat Skovald, and just for fun, Odin decides to jump down into the ring and have a little match. If we win, he will carve our names in these sacred halls himself, and he will also grant us a reward worthy of our valor.
Enough! I yield. You are truly remarkable creatures. As promised, you will have your just reward.
After going through and completing more trials than ever held possible, we finally completed our mission and we gained the Aegis of Aggramar. Odin and Helia, they still have their parts to play in an upcoming patch, but for now, that's the end of the story in Stormheim, for getting our hands on a Pillar of Creation and one step closer to sealing the gateway at the Tomb of Sargeras. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time, guys, see ya!